Rob Christensen, your next path. Your next path, Rob Christensen.
When I was growing up, my father would take me flying in a Cessna 172, single-engine, 4-seat aircraft. Pretty small plane, but Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters and friends, it was perfect for my dad and me. We would get to the airport, and he would pre-flight the plane. That means he checks everything around outside. We'd get in, and I'd get in the co-pilot seat, he'd be in the pilot seat, and he'd be running through the checklist, and he's finishing up, and he says, seatbelt, check. Headset, check. Ready to fly, check. At 10 years old, I couldn't understand why ready to fly had to be at the end. Because I've been ready to fly all week. But I couldn't wait till I had a chance to take control. When we got in the air, Dad, can I fly? Dad, can I fly? Dad, can I fly? I'm pretty sure I only asked 3 times. He might be different. When we got to a certain altitude, he would turn and say, okay, Robert, take the controls, keep our wings level, stay at 5,000 feet, and keep going west. He would tell me which instruments I needed to follow. And I could fly a straight line. At 10 years old, it's not as easy as you think. But he taught me more than that. And with every lesson, he fueled my dream, my first dream. Dad, I want to be a pilot just like you. As I grew up, that dream changed to becoming a pilot in the U.S. Air Force. When I went for my medical check, the flight surgeon ran me through a battery of tests. Physical, check. 20/20 vision, check. Hearing, check. Color vision. If you're like 92% of men in the world, or 99.5% of women, when you take a color vision test, you see every number on that test. I saw about 50%. You may not have served in the military yourself, but other than horseshoes and hand grenades, 50% does not cut it. When I went on to go in the Air Force and serve for 22 years, obviously not as a pilot. The flight surgeon told me, Rob, you'll never fly for the Air Force. But after my service, I landed at Cessna, the very company that built the planes that my father would take me flying in. And there I learned 2 things. One, I could become a private pilot. My vision was good for that. And 2, Cessna offset the cost to make it reasonable for normal people to be able to get a pilot's license. So for the next 6 months, I studied hard. I practiced, and I took the test, and I got my license. And shortly thereafter, I took my son and put him in the co-pilot seat and took him flying. And guess what he asked the minute we got in the air? Dad, can I fly? Sure, Matthew. Go ahead and take the controls. Keep our wings level. You get the idea. I ran him through the same lessons my father taught me. Do you remember your first dream? Do you remember how it made you feel? When I was with Cessna, I was able to fly. But a year later, I had to leave the company. And that opportunity dried away. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, Randy, how can I pursue my dream now? And he looked at me and he said, Rob, first off, you got to live your dream for about a year. That's more than some people do. And 2, do you only have one dream? I hadn't thought about that. Am I only allowed to have one dream? Are you only allowed to have one dream? When I was a kid, I could dream of anything. I could pitch for the baseball team. I could fly to the moon. I could do anything. But when we grow up, those possibilities come down. And sometimes it feels it puts us on a path, the only path we can take. But I think we can dream another dream. I think Randy was right. And I dream to be a writer. I want to be a writer. So I did what anybody who's a good writer is supposed to do. Write about what you know. speaking, and I started to write about book reviews. Started to write book reviews. Writing about book reviews would be boring. I wrote book reviews because I read regularly. 3 months later, I received an email from McGraw-Hill. Have you heard of them? They're a real publisher. They said, Rob, we've read some of your reviews. We have a business book coming out called Running the Gauntlet. We'd like you to write a review. If you agree, we'll send you the book, write the review, and also please post it on Amazon.com. So I said, yes, send, and they sent me the book. I gave it 4 stars. It was pretty good. I recommend you read it. And after that, I've received 3 more requests from other writers, independent, self-published writers, to write book reviews. When I thought about my dream as a writer, I didn't see a path of writing book reviews. But I realized that might be where I'm headed. Just like when I was a kid, and I wanted to be a pilot, and my path took me into the Air Force, this path is going to take me somewhere. My friend Randy was right. I shouldn't let my first dream be my last dream. You can dream your next dream. And when you do, look at that path, take the first step, and follow your next path.